Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India, India's voice to the world. This is Sports Buzz and I am Deepika Mehto. Coming up in the next half an hour. BCCI arranges special charter plane for stranded Team India at Barbados. Special champions Air India aircraft to reach New Delhi in early hours of Thursday, carrying media officials as well. Euro 2024 gears up for last 8. Turkey and Netherlands book last 8 spots. Quarterfinals to begin from the 5th of July. In Wimbledon, Naomi Osaka, Raducanu reaches second round. Naomi to face Emma Navarro in an interesting clash today. Jessica Bozos Manero stuns Vondrousova to march ahead. And 9 Indian athletes secure Paris Olympic quota through Paris Athletics rankings, confirmed by World Athletics on Tuesday. So those were the top headlines of the hour that we are tracking for all our viewers here on DD India Sports Buzz. And now to get you the latest from the world of cricket. The wait is finally over for Indian cricket fans. Their T20 World Cup winning team is now likely to come back home on Thursday morning from the West Indies. The Rohit Sharma-led side have boarded a special flight from Barbados. Their travel plans was impacted earlier by Hurricane Beryl after a grueling month-long T20 Cricket World Cup. The team recently emerged victorious in the first World Cup in either format since 2011. Members of the squad, support staff and their families have been stranded on the island for the past 2 days due to flight cancellations. Hurricane Beryl hit the Caribbean islands on Monday with high intensity. As a precautionary measure, the entire island was shut down for past 2 days, forcing the players to remain confined to their hotel. Moving on now, let's get you all the update from Euro 2024. Turkey's Meri Demiral struck in each half and their goalkeeper Mert Günok pulled off a superb stoppage time save as they secured a high-octane 2-1 victory over Austria to book their spot in Euro 2024's last 8. The central defender scored after 57 seconds and added another with a powerful header just before the hour to set up a quarter-final in Berlin against the Netherlands. Celebrations broke out across many cities in Germany at the final whistle as thousands of Turks took to the streets with their national team eyeing a repeat of their Euro 2008 semi-final run. For tournament dark horses, Austria, it was a bitter end to their European Championship, with the team still waiting for their first victory in a knockout match at any major tournament since 1954. Netherlands' Cody Gakpo scored his third goal of the European Championship tournament and Daniel Malen added 2 more later on as the Dutch burst back into form with a lively display to defeat Romania by 3-0 in their last 16 fixture. They reached the Euro quarterfinals for the first time since 2008. Cody Gakpo was a menace all night and turned provider for Malen's first goal in the 83rd minute. Malen notched his second in stoppage time. Romania created just a few chances in the match and never looked as serious as a threat as the Netherlands controlled possession and waited for opportunities to get forward. The Dutch had 2/3 of possession and almost 5 times more chances with 24 attempts in the game to underline their superiority. The final 16 of Euro 2024 has now been whittled down to the last 8 after Turkey scored a 2-1 victory against Austria and Dutch beat Romania by 3-0. Now, with the arrival of the quarterfinals, teams are now busy preparing off the pitch for several big clashes this weekend. From Berlin, DD India correspondent Trent Murray has more.
Well, if you've ever wondered how an elite football team rests and recovers before a big match, well, we've been given some insight. Take a look at these photos. This is from the England squad going through their recovery classes at their very lush-looking resort, I have to say, here in Germany as they prepare for their match against Switzerland on Saturday. It's part yoga, part meditation, part physical recovery. Take a look at the video released by the England team.
When we breathe out. So when we're looking at rest and recovery, we really want to be going the other way. How do we switch off? And breathing is the best tool that you've got.
Well, that's how one team is preparing for this weekend. Another team, Germany, well, they are facing a lot of pressure here in the host nation. Now, they will take on Spain on Friday night, and already some newspapers here are talking about whether the Germans can break the so-called Spanish curse. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, Spain and Germany are the two most successful teams at European Championship level. They both have won 3 trophies each over the tournament's history, but the most recent history hasn't been so kind to Germany. In fact, you have to go back 36 years to find a time when they were able to beat Spain at that level. The team here is saying that they do have the squad to be able to do it this time. As I say, it all kicks off 6 p.m. local time here on Friday in Germany. One imagines there may be some bosses across this country giving their employees an early mark to let them get out to the bar and have a cool beverage and watch the host nation play. The host nation also, just briefly, facing a few troubles on the administrative front. We are hearing UEFA, the organisers of this tournament, have fined the country $20,000 for security failures, specifically preventing pitch invaders, in other words, people running onto the field, taking photos with superstar Cristiano Ronaldo. We've seen that several times. Clearly, the organisers, UEFA, not happy with that. They're telling the Germans to up the game when it comes to security. We'll have to see how that all plays out this weekend when those crucial quarter-final matches take place. Trent Murray for DD India, Berlin.
Moving on to Copa America now, Brazil played out an action-packed 1-1 draw with Colombia in California on Tuesday to qualify for Copa America quarter-final round. Colombia, who finished top of Group T on 7 points, will now face Panama in the quarter-finals, while second place Brazil will take on Group C winners Uruguay. On the other hand, Costa Rica beat Paraguay by 2-1 in their final Copa America Group T encounter, but failed to move into the quarterfinals after finishing third following Brazil's 1-1 draw with Colombia. Costa Rica returned home with 4 points, while Paraguay exit after 3 losses. Costa Rica needed results to go their way along with a big swing in goal difference to qualify, but a 2-1 result was not enough to sail them through into the last 8. Now, Brazil has decided to celebrate National King Pelle Day on the 19th of November every year to mark the date when the soccer great is believed to have scored his 100,000th goal of his career in 1969. Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has passed a law that sanctions the national tribute to the 3-time World Cup winner. The Brazilian soccer great died on December 2022. The 29th at the age of 82. On the 19th of November in the year 1969, Pelle scored a goal for Santos from the penalty spot in a 2-1 victory against Vasco da Gama. The South American nation was then under a military dictatorship that started in 1964 and only ended in 1985. Moving on in Sports Buzz, now let's get you all the latest from the world of tennis as Wimbledon is going on. Well, defending champion Marketa Vondrousova was knocked out in the first round of Wimbledon itself, and with this she's now become the first female holder to fall at the opening hurdle since Steffi Graf 30 years ago. Czech player Vondrousova became the first unseeded woman to lift the title last year, and she was defeated by 6-4, 6-2 by Spain's Jessica Bustos Monteiro. Ranked world number 83, Bustos Monteiro had won only one tour-level match all the year heading into Wimbledon. On the other hand, Russian 6th seed Andrei Rublev crashed out of Wimbledon in the first round itself, losing by 6-4, 5-7, 6-2 and 7-6 to world number 122 Francisco Cumsana of Argentina. Kumsana was playing his first match at a Grand Slam. Ruple frequently lost his temper, screamed out loud and also ranted at his courtside coaching team as well. Former Wimbledon champion Novak Djokovic showed no sign of his knee problems as he began his quest for a record 25th Grand Slam title impressively. Djokovic had surgery after pulling out of the French Open and was a doubt for Wimbledon, but the seven-time champion looked razor-sharp as he crushed Czech qualifier Vitkiprovia by 6-1, 6-2 and 6-2. There was crushing disappointment for two-time champion Andy Murray. The British favourite was denied a last hurrah on his beloved centre court as the 37-year-old withdrew from the singles due to an injury. In women's category, women's top seed Iga Swiatek was pushed hard by the former Australian Open winner Sofia Kenin, but prevailed by 6-3, 6-4. Talking about the upcoming matches now, Japan's Naomi Osaka will take on Emma Navarro in her second round match today. Naomi Osaka got through her first Wimbledon match on Monday, but it was a roller coaster ride against Sienna Perry. Osaka and Perry traded by 6-1 sets, then played a very close third set in which Osaka saved a break point at 4-4 and was able to prevail in a nail-biter clash. On to Olympics now. Asian Games gold medalist Anu Rani and Asian Athletics champion Jyoti Yaraji have secured Paris Olympic quota for India via their world rankings. Tejinder Pal Singh Toor, a two-time men's shot put Asian champion, also secured the Paris quota after being ranked 23rd in his event. In women's shot put event, Asian Championship silver medalist Aba Khatua was also ranked 23rd. The qualification window for athletics event for Paris ended on 30th of June. However, the final Road to Paris 2024 standings were officially confirmed by World Athletics on Tuesday. Earlier, India secured 14 quotas in athletics, either by meeting entry standards or by making the cut through designated qualifying competitions. On to hockey turfs now. Hockey India has announced the inaugural Hockey India Masters Cup, which will feature both men's and women's category. This unique event will spotlight veteran players, specifically those over the age of 40 years. It will also offer a distinct platform compared to other domestic hockey events. The Hockey India Masters Cup is designed to celebrate the enduring passion and skill of seasoned hockey players. Now, this tournament also aims to bring together former players, allowing them to reconnect with the sport they love while competing at a high level. It's time to take a short break here on Sports Buzz, but still to come on the other side. An exclusive conversation with Ultraman Sov Ahuja. The Indian triathlete conquered 515 kilometers over 3 days in 2024 edition of Ultraman Florida. And gamers from across the globe will compete for $60 million in prize money at the first ever Esports World Cup.
This week on Defense Dynamics, our special coverage is to decode the Pakistan Army's latest announcement of Operation Azm-e-Istikam. We will get you an in-depth analysis of this new Pak Army's operation along with its regional fallout. Watch Defense Dynamics on DD India every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. IST.
Watching DD India Sports Buzz with me, Deepika. Continuing with our exclusive stories. Now, in the world of endurance sports, tales of triumph often emerge from unexpected corners, where the resilience and determination of individuals to conquer challenges that seem insurmountable. One such remarkable story is that of Indian triathlete Sov Ahuja, who transcended humble beginnings to become a beacon of inspiration in the world of triathlons, culminating in the finish of the grueling Ultraman Florida Triathlon, covering a brutal 515 kilometers in just 3 days. DD India's Abhishek Prasad had an exclusive conversation with Saurabh. Let's take a listen.
Today, India's name is taken with pride all over the world, be it in the field of science, literature, arts, or sports. Indians keep raising the bar and make their country feel proud of them. What such Indian is Sov Ahuja, who is joining us right now from USA. Sov is an endurance athlete who recently completed one of the toughest triathlon race, the Ultraman Florida edition. Sov, thank you for joining us. Tell us about the Ultraman, the sport, and how physically challenging this sport is.
Thank you, Abhishek. Thank you for having me here. So, Ultraman is a triathlon where you have to swim, bike, and run. It's a 3-day event, and every day you have a time limit of 12 hours. Day one, you have to swim 6.2 miles or 10 kilometers. And after that, you have to bike 90 miles or 145 kilometers. So you go back home, get ready for the next day, come back next day. So it's very challenging. It takes years of preparation to reach there. And 40 to 50 athletes participate in this event.
Okay.
So this year, there were 45 athletes from 16 countries, and 37 were able to finish it.
Tell us about your Ultraman journey. How did you pick up this sport? And where did you get the motivation from? And why did you try this endurance event, which is full of huge challenges and so much stamina is required?
I believe in 2011, I was in Delhi at that time. So I grew up in Delhi. I saw an ad in one of the newspaper that Reebok Running Squad is giving free training for Airtel Delhi half marathon.
Okay.
So I got interested in that. So I gave it a try. I found a coach, Gagan Arora, and I really liked the training part. It was CrossFit, and I ran my first half marathon under a coach for the very first time in 2011. And I really liked it. And after that, I continued that thing. So from first half marathon, in another 1 or 2 years, I did first full marathon. And I don't know, somewhere I read that Ironman triathlon is toughest one-day fitness challenge on the planet. So that's how they market it. So I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I want to do it. So, and when I was preparing for this Ironman triathlon, I heard about Ultraman, that Ultraman is 2 to 2.5x of Ironman.
Right.
So I was like, that sounds even more interesting. Maybe someday I would do that. So I did my first Ironman in 2016. And that's when I moved to US. One of the reason of moving to US was this, because I was so passionate for these triathlons. I'm from a humble background. So I didn't have finances. Later, I realized that these events are very expensive, and Ironman doesn't happen in India. So I had to manage finances. I had to manage family. I had a daughter at that time, and later I had a son as well. So while navigating all these life's challenges, it took me almost 13 years to finish Ultraman.
Tell us about this year's race and what preparations did you put in for Ultraman Florida, and what was going on your mind, and what challenges did you face on the first, second, and that finally the third?
So in 2022, I resumed my training and I started for training for this Ultraman Florida
Okay.
almost 18 months ago before the event. I found a local coach here in Seattle, Kainoa, and I told her that that's what I want to do. So Ultraman is a invitation only event. You have to apply, you have to do a Ironman 12 to 18 months before the Ultraman. So we planned it that way that in 2022, that June 2023, I will do an Ironman, and February 2024, I'll do the Ultraman. Now I'll talk about those 3 days. So honestly, my training was harder than the Ultraman days. So day one, swimming started. First loop, so swimming 10-kilometer swim was 3 loops in the lake. So first loop went fine. I was very confident. Second loop went fine. In the third loop, I got a cramp in the calf muscle and I started moving my legs slowly because I wanted to make sure cramp doesn't stop me. And then later, immediately 10-15 minutes after that, I started shivering in the water. Because water was cold. It was maybe around, it's in 50s in Fahrenheit, or I at that time I didn't know that what to do. I cannot go out of the water. So the only way out is swim slowly, one arm at a time. So that was like almost 2 hours of suffering. I was shivering and swimming slowly, but I was able to finish my swim part in like 4 hours, 50 minutes, something. And bike, I knew that I have 7 hours to finish. So that's like plenty of time. So I was comfortably able to finish. Day two, so first 6-7 hours, I was doing fine as per the pace. But during the ninth hour, there were a lot of hills and the wind. So that made me slow. And I had like 3 hours and 42 miles to cover. So I felt like I won't be able to finish. So that was for like almost 10 minutes. I was in the fight or flight mode. But at that time, my crew helped me. That 10th hour, I rode bike very hard. So second day, I was able to finish it in 11 hours, 45 minutes. So day three, I was confident in running. So I was able to finish my first marathon in 5 hours, 10 minutes. And after around like 30 miles, I got cramp in the stomach. And that lasted for like 2 hours. In last 5-6 miles, I had little bit of knee pain issue when I was going down, and some blisters, but overall it was fine. And throughout these 3 days, I had a lot of fun. I was smiling, I was enjoying. I was finally able to finish, and I was super happy. Yeah.
Can you tell us something about your diet and the nutrition intake that you have to take for this tough?
Yes. So I would say my diet and nutrition is very simple. So I generally eat healthy food. Whatever people say it's a junk food or packaged food or processed food, I do not eat that. So I typically eat like whatever food we eat at home, like dal roti, rice, sabji, aloo paratha, and all those things. I did not take any special food, or it's all homemade plus training nutrition, I would say, that we take for endurance.
What is your next aim from here, and what are you looking forward now in future?
Yes. So I'll go back to my original theme that I heard about Ironman as toughest one-day fitness challenge on the planet, and I wanted to do it. And then I heard about Ultraman. So the interesting thing happened to me is during Ultraman, some of the people talked about Epic 5. So Epic 5 is 5 Ironman triathlons in 5 days in 5 different islands of Hawaii. So it's even more crazier. And my idea is I will keep going as long as I'm smiling. Currently, I'm taking care of kids. My little one is 5-year-old. So I'm playing with him. I have to teach maths to my daughter, and she's doing great in swimming, and I have to support my wife. So currently, I'm focusing on my family, or you can say I'm preparing my environment for my next challenge.
Okay. We wish you all the best, Saurabh, for your future endeavors. And you are truly an inspiration and one who has overcome so many hurdles and challenges and come as an endurance athlete. Thank you so much for joining us and giving your time to us. Thank you.
Moving on, gamers from across the globe will compete for $60 million in prize money at the first ever Esports World Cup, which kicks off in Riyadh on Wednesday. Organizers say more than 1,500 elite esport players from over 60 countries will compete in the first edition of the competition, which will run through the 25th of August. The massive prize pool is billed as the largest ever for an esports contest.
Prize pools this big are life-changing for any young man or woman. I mean, to be able to compete at that age and really reach the pinnacle, not just of your sport, but to also create a life-changing income from it, I think is amazing. It is something that you see in other sports, you know, like football or American football or basketball. And these young men and women put in just as much time, just as much work, and just as much effort. And now they're realizing that they can earn just as much as people in other traditional sports. And I think this is what they deserve and what they've earned. And I look forward to that growing in many tournaments around the world and not just this one.
And that's all for this edition of DD India Sports Pass. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika Mehto, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching Sports Pass. Namaskar.